Greetings, dear viewers. You are on the Cross Moda channel. What associations do you have when you hear the term motorcycle with a sidecar? Dnieper, Ural, Ij with a Jawa sidecar. What else do you remember? Pannonia and Zundap Army motorcycles. In fact, throughout the history of motorcycle manufacturing, a huge number of brands have equipped their motorcycles with sidecars, especially in early 20th century. In the second half of the past century, this concept was increasingly abandoned, mainly because cars became more widespread among the general public. Today, very few companies can claim mass-producing motorcycles with sidecars. The Urbit motorcycle plant once claimed it was the only manufacturer of a serial motorcycle with a sidecar. That was 5 or 6 years ago, and that's not true. The Chinese motorcycle industry has produced sidecars continuously since the 1960s, when with Union of Soviet Socialist Republic support, they began making the M72 copy known as Chang. Their range in the Chinese domestic market is remarkable. In this segment, I want to focus on one of these motorcycles, the Xinyuan Tornado 520 Xinyuan. By the way, is a brand owned by the company. Just a week ago, the motorcycle newsfeed exploded with headlines like "Cunning Chinese copied our Ural motorcycle," and "Motorcycles with sidecars started being produced in China," and everything was in that vein. So that's nothing more than loud headlines to attract attention, just like the title of this video. Well, how else am I supposed to get your attention? Let's figure out Tornado 520. And what it has in common with the Ural is that the motorcycle is equipped with a sidecar, just like the Ural, and the front fork is made like on the VSE product. The statement that the Chinese have only just started producing motorcycles with sidecars, and that they didn't do this before, is also not true. Have you seen the range they have in China? There is a company called Chang, which has been around since 1997. These days, it's not just a company, but a whole conglomerate that produces cars, light trucks, and motorcycles. It is also the owner of an Italian motorcycle brand. And there's also close cooperation with a French motorcycle brand, which imports retro-style Chinese motorcycles to Europe under its own brand, produced at the facilities of a Chinese company. For its part, it actively participates in developing the design and concept of the models, while also studying the market. In 2020, they launched the 400 motorcycle with a sidecar, based on the existing model. The specifications turned out to be rather mediocre. Weighing 342 kilograms, the single-cylinder, 450cc engine delivers 29 horsepower of power and about 30 Nm of torque. And so, in April 2023, they present a new motorcycle with a sidecar, 520, and its sales start on the Chinese market. In its design, the shortcomings of the previous model were eliminated, namely, the engine's power and torque were significantly increased. Until now, it used single-cylinder air-cooled engines copied from old Japanese units, mainly from the company. For example, the 650 ECC single-cylinder engine on the X-Ride is a copy of a 1985 Honda engine, as is the one on the Tornado 520. A more modern power unit is used. It's an inline twin with liquid cooling, which also traces its roots back to Honda. The engine is equipped with an overhead valve timing system with 2 camshafts and 4 valves per cylinder. The 500cc unit produces 54 horsepower. Maximum power at 8,500 revolutions per minute and 51 Newton meters of torque at 7,500 revolutions per minute. Indeed, compared to the previous Kolyasocha model, the figures have almost doubled. The engine is combined in a single housing with a 5-speed gearbox, which also has a reverse gear. Power is transmitted to the rear wheel via a chain drive. The Chinese decided not to complicate the design with a drive to the sidecar wheel, since the motorcycle is not positioned as an off-road vehicle, and for paved roads and light off-road conditions, rear-wheel drive will be sufficient. The maximum speed is 110 kilometers per hour. The motorcycle weighs 295 kilograms, over 40 kilograms lighter than the previous model. The fuel tank has been enlarged from 13 to 18 liters. Fuel injection keeps consumption at just 4.5 liters per 100 kilometers. The power unit is built into a steel frame that holds a sidecar. In terms of appearance, the motorcycle, just like the 400 sticks to the classic look of old motorcycles, with sidecars from the 1930s and 1940s with a slightly militaristic touch. A pair of shock absorbers is used on the rear wheel swing arm, and the design of the front fork is very reminiscent of the fork from a Ural motorcycle. The price of the Tornado, 520 in China, is about 50 to 55,000 yuan, which is equivalent to 7,000 euros. At the moment, it is not known for sure whether the French brand will import this machine to Europe. I think the guys from there will definitely give it a try, and in the future they'll base their decisions on the level of consumer interest in sales. In Europe, however, it will be more expensive. For example, the price for the 400 in this market ranges from 10 to 12,000 euros. And since many online sources have decided to compare the new product with a modern motorcycle, let's draw a few parallels ourselves. This table on the screen shows the main indicators, and based on these numbers, we can roughly say that the motorcycles are quite similar. Ural wins in terms of torque and top speed, and it also has a drive to the sidecar wheel. On the other hand, the Tornado 520 is more powerful, has a smaller engine, and revs higher. The Chinese sidecar is lighter and consumes less fuel. And one of the most important factors that influences the final decision to buy. Its price in China is about $7,500, and this makes Jiang Tornado 520 a worthy competitor to Ural on the global market. As for reliability, I dare say that both motorcycles are approximately on the same level. It must be admitted that the Chinese motorcycle industry is now producing solid mid-range bikes, and the copied time-tested Honda engine promises to be quite durable and reliable. This is the Tornado 520 motorcycle, a new product from the company that could compete with Ural motorcycles. How things will turn out with this model and which markets it will appear in, only time will tell. That's all from me. This was the CrossMoto channel. Thank you very much for your attention. Don't forget to write in the comments what you think about this machine. And also remember to subscribe, comment, and share the video with others. Thank you to everyone who financially supports my channel. See you next time.